Hello, in this video I'm writing down what I wrote this year at some time. Um, my deepest purpose, right? So Daniel, I feel that my life is most meaningful when? When is your life most meaningful? And my answer is when I talk and play with my son because he listens to me. And I really do have high expectations of him. There's a big difference when you're 29 years old or 31. I may have been 31. And I bought myself an electric drill. There's a big difference at buying an electric drill when you're 31 and using one when you're 4 years old. There's a big difference. And my son is, he knows how to put a screw in a wall, or you need to teach your children these things. All right, 2, I super enjoy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. I enjoy playing with my son. I enjoy sex. I enjoy organizing. It gives me a lift when I have things that look pretty. Just today I thought about making my backyard, the fence, making it a shelf. I mean, look at all that storage space that you have. You know, just use parts of the fence over there, just add a couple of shelves to it, cover it up from the weather, and you have shelves back there. Maybe I could use plastic, see-through plastic. All right. Maybe I could even sell plastic shelves. Plastic fences with shelves. That's a business tip. All right. My clean room and my son boost up my energy. Yes, I love having a neat room. In fact, one of the things on my shopping list is having a yellow muck bucket. Yeah, that one. I just haven't seen anything better for it. Nothing's been invented at that price range. Less than $100, right? Less than 50 even. All right, my priorities are to play and teach my son. I would include my daughter, and most likely she's turning around this year. Maybe she'll be nice to me again. That is, talk with me more often, do something. Like I want to buy her, her birthday came up and I wanted to buy her a kettlebell. But then I said, well, if she's not going to use it, well then I would keep the kettlebell, right? I would use it, but I got to figure out what to do with her. All right, my deepest purpose is to open an orphanage like the Barefoot College and teach valuable skills. Yes, an orphanage, but it's got to have... Well, I really enjoy Don Bosco's, the Salesian missions. They teach carpentry, they teach making pipes, welding, making furniture, making t-shirts, making pots and pans, making shoes, painting. All of these skills, they teach them to children. And I want to... kids that grow up in an orphanage in many ways are more blessed than the ones that grow up with parents that tell them, no. No. I'm a yes parent. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. In the words of Maria Shriver, yes, you can. Yes, you will. Yes, you must. That was from her mother, how she grew up. And Joel Osteen's wife, Victoria, she mentioned how she picked him because she said he was a doer, a person that does things. She said, I didn't want to have a husband that I was going to have to drag him to do this, to do that. I wanted a husband that wants to do things. The way I look at it, you can have a beautiful life with some people. If, like I had with one girlfriend, I had excellent communication as far as talking. Our other problems were with sex because she had what I believe is called endometriosis. I read it in a Jehovah's Witness magazine. That means that it's painful sex every time you penetrate her. Now, maybe there could have been something could have been done about that. I don't know. With another one, I had excellent bedroom, right? Excellent time in the bedroom, but we never talked. And there are three things that you gotta have in order to be happy with the woman. You gotta have, in Spanish, cama, cocina, y comunicación. The bed, communication, and cooking. You gotta have those three. The fourth one that I would add, of course, is money. You need that one also. I mean, the reason I speak, you can talk to me. You see, I can talk. I'm a talker. However, this particular spouse doesn't negotiate, doesn't talk, doesn't communicate. I saw her new minivan, or a used minivan. I saw it the day that she brought it back. I didn't even know she was going to go do that, you know, buy one. Independent woman. Some people say that that's the United States. The woman just doesn't, you know, some of them actually, they just go out and have a baby with some sort of procedure. I think it's called artificial insemination. And my grandpa says, no hay mal que por bien no venga. Something good will happen because of this. And sometimes, right at the moment, we say, what's good about this situation? What's good about being Baker acted? Well, maybe I can help you prevent being Baker acted. Right now, you might be a young person and you have good fingerprints. If I go to, I used to be a security guard. I'm not allowed to be a security guard anymore now that I was Baker acted. I think the guns, I'm not allowed to have guns anymore because of that. Maybe I'm not allowed to be a mortgage broker, because I remember that there was one question about moral turpitude. Moral turpitude meant that the person is not morally or ethically correct. I'm not saying I'm not morally or ethically. What I'm saying is that once you get labeled with bipolar or with you've been Baker acted, then your life becomes more difficult as far as, for instance, am I allowed to be a executive director of a non-for-profit organization? I don't know. But when some doors close, other doors open. So I'm not allowed to be one, so what? Maybe my son will be one, and I'm going to be his advisor, you know? Or maybe my daughter, like she wants to be a doctor, I tell her, all right, start watching videos now. Like there are excellent TV shows now. Not TV shows, but YouTube videos. There was one lady she was an optometrist, and she tested a little girl, and first the little brother, and then she said, why don't we also test the little girl, the younger sister? And the mother said, no, she's fine. And no, the little girl needed help. And eventually the girl was, what the doctor says, she was probably looking at her mother's face for the first time. All right. So, One door closes, another door opens. If you read your Bible, there is a benefit. You'll become more intelligent. Like, you'll memorize commandment number 9. Do not bear false witness against thy neighbor. False witness. Now, I could have, yes, I've had false witness against me. Basically, when you lie about somebody, and if you live with them, you get Baker acted. If you live with your mother and some of the people that were in there, yes, they're different. We're all different. Like, some of them are talkers, non-stop talking. Well, I know what happened with that child. They don't stop talking because the mother wouldn't even talk to them, or the father wasn't even there. So they don't stop talking. They constantly talk. Have you all read the Celestine Prophecy? It talked about childhood traumas. If you talk a lot, that's because nobody talked to you when you were a kid. If you're angry, or you're like you're gonna beat up somebody, that's not me, by the way. That's called an intimidator. There were 4 types: intimidator, interrogator, that's the non-stop talking, aloof, which is myself, and poor me. The poor me personality says, I can't do this, can you please buy this for me? They're always a child. I met one that was 50 years old, and he was going to a air conditioning school, and he says, my brother could help me, he's a doctor, but he doesn't. Here's a guy that's 50 years old, never married, sometimes working, sometimes not. He was a construction worker, laborer. Then he went to the air conditioning school, but he didn't have a car. And gosh, I miss my friend there. What happens is, now that I'm older, I see what kind of problems people have just after talking to them for a little while. And a lot of it can be prevented if only people would care about each other. Like, if you're an uncle, oh, everybody is afraid of you because you're probably a child molester. But there has to be a way that you can interact with other people. For instance, I interact with my son, right? But how many relatives interact with my children? How many adults? In the United States, they don't. They don't interact. In fact, I don't recommend going to birthday parties, because one of the uncles and the relatives in the family, he got his adopted son had a wife. The wife didn't like him, like the uncle. So she told the little girl to say that the uncle touched her vagina, and he was in jail for a whole year. And he had no proof, they had no proof, there is no proof, it's just a word. And finally the mother said that she felt guilty and that she was going to commit suicide. And so finally the uncle said, well, I did do it, so she won't commit suicide because he is being nice. The little girl needs a mother, you know, even if it's a bad one. So he changed his testimony after a year. He mortgaged his house for the second time. He lost his house, he lost his family. And since he was not a U.S. citizen, I think he was a resident alien, I think is the term. So he was shipped back to Honduras. So I could do like my neighbor does. He doesn't have any friends. I mean, I look over there and Nobody goes to his house. In fact, I saw a lady there the other day. I think he's selling the house. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, how can you help other people? Like, I remember my high school teacher in biology, he said, "Is there something wrong, Daniel?" And I said, "Yes." And then he said, "Well, is there anybody you can talk to? Your dad, your mom?" I'm like, "My mom's the problem. I'm not able to talk to her. She doesn't listen. She yells and yells." And then he said, "Well, there's nobody to talk to?" I said, "You're the closest one that has ever approached me." And that was the end of the conversation. He said, "Well, I can't do it. I'm legally not allowed to get involved or something." So then he sent me to the guidance counselor, and I talked to her for a little bit, but she just taught me to meditate, think you're on the beach or somewhere nice, close your eyes. That's nice. But talk therapy does help. But what? Everybody's going to have a therapist? For a while, if you don't have a therapist, I was like, man, having a therapist is awesome. But they got rid of the couches, because of insurance. It says, "Oh no, just sit in that hard chair there 15 minutes, then you gotta go." I gotta go talk to the next one. No, actually it's maybe it's 45 minutes. Maybe it is 60, I don't know. I don't keep track of time. But either he was fired, or he was retired, or they hired a new one anyway. And I told him, "No, I don't want to go see the new one, because if it's a girl, she's pretty, and I'm going to have dreams about having sex with her, so I don't want to go see a new therapist." I mean, if they're young, they're all right. It's just, for everybody else, not for me, because, they're attractive. Attractive girls. So who do you talk to? I talk to this camera. Be better than I am. Enjoy your life.